The last time's dismal end to the episode against Barcelona, Zanini did get the nod against Peterborough as promised, and we got off to an absolute flyer, with Thiago rounding the keeper and scoring after just 16 seconds. However, Peterborough equalised after half an hour with a wonderful strike. In the second half, Thiago scored again. This time it took nearly 3 minutes from kickoff, very, very sluggish. And Thiago completed his hat-trick with a quarter of an hour to go. And the scoring was completed when Jayhuahua was uncharacteristically unselfish, playing in Barrios, who had his shot saved, and it fortunately landed for a tap-in for Jayhuahua, making it 4-1. And the crunch game in the Champions League against Leipzig did not go as planned. We conceded early, and then again late on. A 2-0 loss meant we finished outside the top 8, so we go into the next round. However, for a first season of the Champions League, we've done fantastically well. As January drew to a close, we picked up another promising youngster, Rosario Vinciguerra, for £3.8 million. An attacking midfielder, so got quite a few in that position, so he stayed on loan at Pescara for the rest of the season. And then Thiago did the double in January, his first player of the month, but his third young player of the month. Next up, relegation threatened QPR and Jayhuahua crossed for Thiago to make it 1-0, before Jayhuahua crossed for Rizzo, making it 2. Harris rifled one home for QPR to make it 2-1 before Jayhuahua won a penalty, which was dispatched by Thiago. Substitute Lucas Ramos Vieira made it 4-1 with a lovely finish. Then Thiago played with a lovely 1-2 with himself off the post, showboating as he completed his hat-trick. And that's how he finished, 5-1. And in the Champions League knockout round, we drew Real Sociedad. In my opinion, a very winnable tie. Words that could potentially come back to haunt me. In the FA Cup against Tranmere, we went behind but fortuitously got back into the game with 2 deflected goals. The first from James Taylor, the second an own goal for Tranmere. Diego Montserrat showed our Premier League quality with a beautiful curling finish before Lucas Ramos Vieira rounded off the tie, making it 4-1. A nervy start, but in the end, a positive result. And then it was Sociedad, or San Sebastian if you will, and we got off to a flyer with a well-worked passing move, squared to Frank Klinkenberg, and a wonderfully composed finish. And inside of 4 minutes, it was 2! Jayhuahua with the finish, cutting in from the inside forward position. Then Klinkenberg got his second with a lovely burst through the middle, and a deft dink to finish it off. 3-0. A couple of minutes later, Sociedad hit back to make it 3-1, but we restored the 3-goal lead in the second half, a second for Jayhuahua. The scoring wasn't done, oh no, on the hour mark, Thiago, whoa, Thiago, made it 5. We didn't start as strong against Spurs, falling behind in the first half before conceding another 2 in the second, a dismal 3-0 defeat. In the second leg against Sociedad, we took longer to break the deadlock, but it was Frank Klinkenberg again who opened the scoring with a lovely finish. Jayhuahua again made it 2-0 with a magnificent free kick, and we finished things off in style, Jayhuahua to Frank Klinkenberg and an easy tap-in to make it 3. That was 5 minutes from time, and then 2 minutes later, Klinkenberg completed his hat-trick. And against Brighton, we opened the scoring with an absolute scorcher from Rossi, his first goal for the club. James Taylor lifted over the keeper to make it 2-0 just 2 minutes later, and that's how it finished, a comfortable 2-0 win. And we get chance at redemption after a last-minute loss to Real Madrid in the Champions League phase. That doesn't roll off the tongue, does it? Anyway, we've got them in the round of 16. But first, an important announcement. The supporters are giving me a B-. A B-. Oh, and Thiago got his 4th Young Player of the Month of the season. It's Preston in the FA Cup 5th round and a 2-1 win. A few key faces rested with Madrid midweek, goals from Taylor and Karaklic seeing us through. And it happened again. The determination nosedive, this time on Victor Ribas. Another fullback losing determination dropped to 5. Absolutely fuming, especially with how much potential he has. Anyway, on to Madrid, the home leg, and we went ahead after 10 minutes with a strike from Lucas Ramos Vieira. And he was the double just before half-time, and it stayed 2-0, a magnificent historic win for Oldham against Real Madrid. And we had a full week to recover, and in the return leg, Daniel Jahich opened the scoring with an own goal, 2-1. Madrid squared it all up with a screamer, then Madrid made it 3, and then they rode out the game. Going out against Madrid is not too bad for a Champions League debut. However, the Champions League hangover bled into the Everton game as we went behind after 11 minutes, and we didn't react at all to going behind as it was 2-16. It finished 3-0 and was a dismal day at the office with back-to-back 3-0 defeats. And the dismal week got even worse with an absolutely abysmal youth intake. I'm very pleased I invested all those funds in the youth facilities. Could we bounce back against Leicester? Well, inside 10 minutes, Ramos Vieira threaded the ball through the eye of a needle and James Taylor tucked home. Then Phil Day nodded home from a Jayhuahua free kick, and Barrios, back from injury, came on at half-time and tucked away the third. Another assist for JP. Nice to be on the right side of a 3-0 win. The FA Cup run continued with an 88th minute winner against Liverpool. João Paulo slotting home. Semi-finals, here we come. Back to the league, and we've got second in the league, Arsenal, and our hopes of Europe could be dealt a huge blow with defeat here, and that became a reality when Elmi gave away a penalty and Tell dispatched it coolly. After a bolling hit at half-time, Ikanga decided he'd had enough and petulantly lunging in and getting a straight red card. 1 minute later, and Tell doubled his and Arsenal's tally. And then got his hat-trick 2 minutes later when Zanini went off for a hot dog. Zanini had barely finished munching his hot dog by the time Tell got his fourth, and with 10 minutes to go, Arsenal made it 5 with a goal from, you guessed it, Tell. Then we had third place Manchester City, and to say we got off to flyer is an absolute understatement. A kick-off highlight progressed and Barrios scored after 50 seconds of the game. And he was at it again after 10 minutes, 2 for Barrios, 2 for Oldham. Then Vieira played a wonderful through ball to James Taylor, who was never missing his golden opportunity. 3-0, and we're only 25 minutes in. And at the start of the second half, it took just 65 seconds to make it 4, with James Taylor showing some sublime composure for the finish. And it was James Taylor who completed his hat-trick, making it 5-0. As awful as we were against Arsenal, we've been phenomenal against City, truly denting their title ambitions. Oh, and João Paulo added a 6th. But the big games and the big teams, it did not get any easier. Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final next, and Frank Klinkenberg lashed it home, making it 1-0. We held on to this lead till the 88th minute when Mason Mount dispatched a penalty, and with extra time looming, Gentle Sousa rifled one in from 30 yards. More cup heartbreak against Chelsea. Then against West Ham, we had a decent first half, but it was 0-0. James Taylor came on as a substitute at half-time and scored within 2 minutes. It finished 1-0, but it could have been 5 or 6 based on the chances we squandered. And against Bournemouth, it was the second half substitute Thiago who was back amongst the goals after a dry spell. And against Newcastle, Carrasco saw red in the first 6 minutes before Thiago put us 1-0 up. 3 1-0 wins on the spin. Oh. Here we are, gang. 4th, with 2 games left. Chelsea, our cup nemesis, and Burnley. Mid-table Burnley. Now, here's the league. We are 4th as it stands. We can't... Teams have got a game in hand on us. United could go ahead and leapfrog us due to a superior goal difference. Chelsea could also do the same because their goal difference is superior. So if they beat us and they win their game in hand, we'll be behind Chelsea and United on goal difference. Chelsea's game in hand is after our game with them. So let's get straight to the Chelsea game. See if we can finish in the Champions League positions. Oh, and Chelsea have just played PSG in the semis of the Champions League. They're going to the Champions League final to play Man City. God, 3 of the 4 teams are English. Here's the money, gang. We've got nearly 100 million in the bank. Over 100k left in wages, or 99k. 17 million in the transfer budget. So, yeah, A+ from the board. I'd take a draw against Chelsea, because that would leave it in our hands for Champions League football. Because top 5 is all we need. Obviously, from a financial point of view, we want Champions League football. But from a success point of view, I don't think we're ready to win the Champions League. I'd like to try and win the Europa League, to be perfectly honest. Because I never got the chance on the last FM with Sunderland, because I won the Conference League. I did have the chance. I got into the Europa League once. Because I got into the Europa League from winning the Conference League, I wasn't good enough to win the Europa League. The following season, that season where I went out the Europa League, I ended up winning the start that again. When I won the Conference League, I went to the Europa League. Didn't win the Europa League. Then, following on from there, I finished in the Conference League qualification places in the league. Won the Conference League again, but by that point, I'd actually qualified for the Champions League. So I leapfrogged the Europa League and then went on to win the Champions League multiple times. So it'd be nice to have another run in the Europa League, because I think we've got what it takes to win the Europa League. That being said, I'll be mortified if we don't get into the Champions League. I'll be really unhappy, because I think we're probably we could lose some players. We could lose some players. So James Taylor. Ooh. We don't get in the Champions League. There's probably 2 or 3 players that might leave. Barrios and João Paulo are 2 that I'd be really looking at. Thiago's been fantastic goal scoring wise, but look, if I got 50, 60 million for him, I'd happily let him go even if I got in the Champions League. I wouldn't let him go with a heavy heart. Doku. Oh, what a finish. Barrios and João Paulo would cut me deep. Thiago, not so much, because I think I could probably replace him. I could replace Barrios and João Paulo, really, but I don't want to be going replacing them. I've grown attached to them. Oh, Ribas with his lack of determination. Gentle Souza, God, he's back, isn't he? Old Gentle. Nothing gentle about that bar and in goal in the FA Cup semi-final in the 91st minute. Phil Day, all day. James Taylor now. Turns his man. Hold it up. Pull it back. João Paulo. Here he is. JP himself. Rossi. To Barrios. And the 2 men are combining. And that's his 10th of the season. And Barrios has been injured quite a bit. So, to be fair, I'm happy with 10. João Paulo's not scored as many as I would have liked from the right wing. However, he's got plenty of assists. Tottenham are holding United as well at the moment. We finished 5th last year. And we got given our transfer budget based on the fact that we were 5th in the Europa League. Then it comes through coefficients, blah, blah, blah. Then we get then we'd already got a transfer budget. This season, it'd be nice to finish inside the Champions League places and then for them to go, you got it. But then I'm not going to spend all the money. I've still got 17 million. It's not like I'm short of cash. I've got my eye on a few players. And I think 60, 70 million will be enough to do it all. Sam Morgan's just waltzed through. What is this, Strictly? Copyright strike. Stop that. Finish it off at home, gang. You know what? That was awful. Too busy rabbiting about transfers and stuff and hopefully getting in the Champions League. Not berating him. João Paulo getting a 6.6. James Taylor getting a 6.4. Gentle Souza is off. The hero of the FA Cup semi-final. The villain of the second to last game of the season. Not quite got the same sort of poetic ring to it, but we're going for it now, gang. James Taylor for Thiago. Frank Klingenberg, you've been awful. Ramos Vieira on you come. Jahic for Elmi. Vera for Ribas. And we're going to go attacking. And we're going to encourage. I'd like to think we can get back into this. João Paulo now. Oh. That's it. Crowd them out. Phil Day. Back to Oliveira. Rizzo. Elmi's out wide. And here he comes. Elmi. To Barrios. Acres of space. Thiago. Awful pass from Barrios. Here we come again. Elmi. Great ball to Thiago. Can he finish? Oh, he can. 26 for the season. In his first season for the club. Club record signing of £25 million. He certainly repaid us with that, with his season. He scored more than James Taylor. Arguably played the very similar amount as James Taylor. They very much rotated with each other. When they've been banging in the goals and in great form, they've probably played a bit more. But I do switch them out very regularly. As you've seen today, James Taylor started. Thiago's come on. Elmi. Notice I didn't say shoot. I didn't say shoot because I knew that would happen. Phil Day. Rizzo. Ramos. Ramos Vieira. We're going to go to VAR. I thought he was onside, but then the way the game, you know, you get that vibe when the game sort of stops. But it is a goal. It is a goal. It just felt a bit weird. But that's another goal from another substitute. I mean, talk about genius. I mean, I'm not saying it. You guys are saying it in the comments. At least I hope you are. Tactical genius. I mean, there hasn't been another highlight. Tottenham are still holding United. Here we go. I have to bloody jinx it, don't I? Stayed quiet for like 30 minutes of in-game time. Couldn't keep my mouth shut, could I? João Paulo now. Go on, let's have a fourth. Ramos Vieira. Let's rub salt into the Chelsea wound. Oh, just side him down. Take the red card. I won't fine you. Oh, I would have fined them. Can't help myself. United have just bloody nicked it in the last minute as well. Nearly clicked you're not happy with the performance. Anyway, we beat Chelsea. We've done what we need to do. United beat Tottenham 1-0. That doesn't help us in terms of goal difference. We've got to hope United don't win their midweek game. Because we'll all be playing together on the final day of the season. So let's go through. Oh, and the Man United drew to Man City. So we can only finish 5th. Because Chelsea, they're down right. They're right down in 6th. So we are 4th or 5th. It's us versus Man United. United have to win. I mean, Barrios, we've got to go with Barrios, haven't we? In that shadow striker role. João Paulo. He's wanted. He's wanted by a who's who of Europe. Arsenal, United, Newcastle, Bayern, Barcelona and Real Madrid. We're going to have a job to keep hold of João Paulo, aren't we? We are going to have a job to keep hold of him. Thiago came off the bench and scored, so Thiago will get the opportunity from the start. Do I play Klingenberg? We didn't play great. Or do I go with the goal scorer Vieira? I think I'm going to go with Vieira. A kick-off highlight straight away, and Burnley have got the ball. And they've scored after 26 seconds. I am absolutely fuming at that. I mean, we don't even need to win. If United don't win, we're done. We're in the Champions League. Guaranteed. We've got Champions League football anyway. But I'd like to finish 4th rather than 5th, just to see if the board actually acknowledge me. And give me some more transfer money. I don't even want to spend it all. I don't even need to spend it all because I think I've got a good enough team and young enough team that really only 2 or 3 positions that I want to go and buy players in. And I'll be selling as well. João Paulo with the goal, 6 minutes in. And it's Elmi who I decided to bring on for Jahic. But yeah, the players I want to bring in, there's people in the squad that are going to have to leave to accommodate them. So I'll probably spend best part of 100 million across 4, maybe 5 players. I'm probably going to bring 40, 50, 60 in. And that's without some of the big names potentially going. Happy enough with the goalkeepers. I want another fullback because I don't think Vieira is very good. I think without grown Vieira as our backup right back. João Paulo. Cross it. Oh, too late. Too late. In the middle. Samuel's not played much, so he's probably going to go. Probably a couple of players in the middle of midfield that are probably going to go. Hall. He's too injury prone for me. He keeps getting injured. He's never getting a good run in the team. He was great when he was in the team, but never found a way to bring him back in because he's in for a couple of games and he gets injured again. United are winning. United are winning. Which means they are currently in 4th position. And here come Burnley. Barrios. Elmi's got the ball. Barrios again. Find the pass. Great. Rossi. 16 passing. 16 passing! Oh, Rossi. Of course that's goal award. I don't even know it went to VAR 4. Through the eye of a needle. Thiago with the finish. What a ball. What a finish. And we're 2-1 up. Man United, we're 1-0 down against Derby. We've got this covered now. Rizzo, switch it to the right. Oh, sorry, the left. Okay, João Paulo. What a bit of skill. Clean pair of heels. What are you going to do with it? Back to Vieira. Across. It's. I don't know what it is. Not a goal. That was what it's not. It was a shambles all round. Great from João Paulo. Then we fluffed it. Burnley just nearly give it us back. Rizzo. Barrios. Awful pass. Not been very good, Barrios, today. Says he's getting a 6.8, but I don't feel like he's done much today. Elmi. Barrios is the pass. Change my mind, Barrios. Vieira. Oh. Great bit of skill. Lovely turn of pace. Awful finish. Barrios again. Thiago's through. Oh. Too nonchalant. We could have been home and dry. We say we had a lot of shots, so I'm happy. Barrios is getting a 7.6 apparently. Out of nowhere. Couple of good passes. To be fair, they were alright, weren't they? Vera. I mean, this is why I want to get rid of him. Look at him. He's not good enough, is he? He's alright. Got a bit of pace. Got a bit of acceleration, should I say. Good agility, good stamina. Distinctly average as a right back. Worth 15... If I got like 10 to 12 million pounds for him, I'd let him go. He's not homegrown at club. He will never be homegrown at club. He's not been capped by Argentina. He's not good enough for me. So he's probably going to be out of the club. And then this guy, who's now got 5 determination. I mean, let's just have a moment. Truly devastated at that. 14 his determination was. That's pretty good. But anyway, we're winning. We are winning. Day. Rizzo. Ramos Vieira. Oh, he scored as he's coming off. He's not coming off then. Barrios is. But there we go. That's 3-1. And that should be enough. United are winning 3-1. But as long as we hold on, we're there. Rossi. Elmi. To Rossi. Acosta. Ramos Vieira. Ribas. Can we make it 4? Oof. Went for glory. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We are 4th in the Premier League in season 14 with Oldham. We've qualified for the Champions League. 55 million. Bit underwhelming, isn't it? 1.5 million per week in wages. So they've basically kept the wages where they were. 1.5 million. So they've put the wages up by £2,500 and 48 quid, if you want to be pedantic. And they're giving me 55 million. Already had 17. Already had 17. They give me £38 million for a second successive Champions League. Fine. Fine. Not angry. A little bit angry. Just been saying I don't need the money. I don't need the money. But it would have been nice to be given the money. 2 draws. Did we only get 2 draws all season? Bloody hell, we did. Did not notice that. Goal of the season against Man United. We saw that. We'll congratulate him on the award. And Arsenal have won the Premier League. Right, here we go. End of season review. The arrivals. Thiago. A C. A C. Young Players Player of the Year. £55,000 a week. It's not even like he's getting an arm and a leg. 55k a week for a player that's just got you 23 Premier League goals in 18 starts. Irritating. A+ for Zanini. C for Rossi. Jahic A+. Yeah, that was a great signing. Pierre at B. He did all right. Blinkenberg A+. Yeah, for 2.5 million, he's now worth 70 to 80 million. Ikanga, he wasn't great, was he, old Screeve? And I think, yeah, 20.5 million. He's now worth that. I tell you now, if someone came in for Screeve, he might go. He might go. Underwhelming first season. But I'd need to find a replacement first, so, you know. A+ for getting Champions League qualification. B. We got a B for getting to the round of 16 in the Champions League. Anything in the Champions League, I'm sorry, should be an A. And you're Oldham. 14 years ago, we were in the Vanarama National League. B in the FA Cup. C+ in the Carabao. Knocked out to Burnley. I can appreciate that. There he is, goal of the season. João Paulo in a 1-0 defeat. Match to remember, 2-0 against Liverpool, and the biggest win was a 6-0 against Werder. Sponsorship down, broadcast revenue down, other 3 up. We've got continental reputation. There's the best-selling shirts, and that's how we lined up. We never lined up like that. Barrios was always in the shadow striker role. There we go then. We'll be back for season 15 when I'll have spent that 55 million. Some familiar faces may have left. Some new faces will be becoming familiar. I am sure of it. See you next time, gang, for another Champions League escapade and more Premier Division pushing on. Can we try and win it next year? Yeah. Take care, gang. I'll see you soon.